Hello, everyone. We will start in a minute or two, just giving everyone a chance to log in. Thank you. So hello, everyone. We will be starting in about 1 minute. I still see some attendees logging on. We will give everyone about 1 more minute. Thank you. Okay, good afternoon. My name is Angela Fish, Rural Development Supervisor with the Air Pollution Control District. Thank you for attending this public workshop to discuss draft proposed amendments to Rule 19.3, emission information. Other district staff joining me on the panel today include Janya Lofgren, Senior Engineer, Mosen Nazemi, Chief of the Engineering Division, Mike Watt, Deputy Director, and joining us shortly will be Mayeni Luther, also Deputy Director. To help with time, we ask that you please hold your comments and questions to the end of this presentation. During the question and answer session, you may relay your comments via one of two ways, through the raise hand icon or through the chat icon. I'll go over those two options again at the end of the presentation. Today, we will discuss the background of Rule 19.3, the proposed rule amendments, what to expect after today's workshop, and we'll take your comments and questions at the end of the presentation. The Clean Air Act, Section 182, outlines requirements for state implementation plan submissions and requirements for ozone non-attainment areas. The Act requires owners or operators of major stationary sources located in non-attainment areas for ozone to provide an annual statement of actual emissions of oxides of nitrogen and volatile organic compounds. Current Rule 19.3, adopted in 1993, applies to owners or operators of sources of air pollution or to persons selling or supplying materials which their use may cause air pollutants, including toxic air contaminants. The rule requires all applicable sources to submit an emissions inventory report form and, if applicable, an emission statement form. The California Air Resources Board regulation, known as the Criteria Toxics Reporting, or CTR, implements statewide annual reporting of criteria air pollutant and toxic air contaminant emissions data from facilities. Rule 19.3 is proposed for amendment to comply with the implementation of the CTR, to require electronic submittals of the emissions inventory report, and to address comments on the rule from the Environmental Protection Agency. Annual reporting will be required for facilities emitting 25 tons or more per year pursuant to Clean Air Act Section 182, to facilities emitting between 5 and 25 tons per year, and to facilities emitting criteria air pollutants or toxic air contaminants in accordance with the CTR. Please note that the first two are requirements from the existing rule. Also of note, the draft version of the rule that you saw references sources designated as category A, B, or C. That language will be removed from the final draft version of the rule. Reporting will also be required every 4 years for specified sources and industry-wide sources emitting toxic air contaminants. Reporting will be required as requested for facilities in the Community Air Protection Program as designated per the Community Monitoring Plan or the Community Emissions Reduction Plan. The proposed amendments phase in the electronic submittal of the emissions inventory report. For data year 2021, data year is defined as the calendar year that the emissions occurred. Sources may submit district-approved emissions inventory report forms as part of the electronic emissions inventory report. These forms will be uploaded through the district's emissions inventory system portal via the district-provided website. For data year 2022 and later, sources will use the district-provided website to upload requested information through the district's emission inventory system portal. This will eliminate paper forms and is intended to speed up the submission of data and increase the efficiency of the district's review and approval process. Electronic emissions inventory reports are to be submitted within 60 calendar days from the date the form request was provided by the district. All supporting documentation will be required to be retained on site for at least 5 years. Reporting extensions may be granted on a case-by-case basis. The proposed amendments also include other minor revisions to address comments from EPA, including a recent comment to include the addition of a new subsection to clarify that sources emitting 25 tons or more are required to submit an emissions statement form. Please submit any written comments by close of business on Tuesday, October 26, 2 weeks from today. A workshop report with district responses to questions and comments received will be prepared and distributed to the workshop attendees and other interested parties. If you did not already provide your email address when you signed into the workshop, please contact Janet McHugh to receive a copy of the workshop report. Her email address will be shown on the next slide. The district will submit the proposed rule for consideration of adoption by the governing board on December 9th, 2021. Please contact Janya Lofgren if you have any questions, and please contact Janet McHugh to receive a copy of the workshop report. At this time, we'd like to open the session to questions and comments. Please click the raised hand icon near the bottom of your screen in order to be recognized and be given an opportunity to speak. You may also click the chat icon also on the bottom of your screen to type in your question or comment. Thank you. So we are ready to answer your questions, either by raising your hand or typing a question into the chat. Any questions, comments? Okay. Not seeing any comments typed or any raised hands. Oh, Lori. Hi, Lori. Please unmute and ask your question. Lori, can you hear us, Lori? I can't hear you. Lori, can you hear us? Okay. Sorry, we'll give Lori a minute. She's going to change computers. Okay, so a question from Nicole. Can you please clarify if the units for Rule 19.3 are in metric tons or US tons per year? Janya?
Janya, do you happen
Yes.
to know if it's metric?
So I would refer to CARB's CTR regulation, and in the definitions section, I do believe that it is our US tons, but I would definitely refer to the regulation to confirm that.
Okay, we will respond to that. We'll follow up and make sure we include it in the workshop report with a response. Okay, let's see another question. It says, are the annual reporting trigger limits of 25 tons of NOx or VOC per year, or 5 to 25 tons, just applicable to permitted sources within the air district or all sources?
Yeah, I can answer that as well. Hi, this is Janya. So the trigger limits for NOx and VOC, the emissions inventories are made up of both permitted and unpermitted sources.
Okay, thank you, Janya. Let's see if, Lori, can you hear us now?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, thank you.
Sorry about that. I was in my remote computer. Question for the district is, with the electronic submissions, Solar calculates all of our emissions for our test cells as a separate report. Is the district going to work with us? I don't know how we're going to do that electronically, because typically I send a paper copy and you guys include them and upload them. So I'm not quite sure how that process is going to work for people that calculate their emissions versus the district calculating emissions.
Sure. So hi, this is Johnny. I can also answer that. So we're going to work with facilities to use the EIS system to use the data that's been submitted. The only difference now is that it won't be received through the paper copy or through a PDF form outside of the EIS system with that phased-in approach that Angela discussed. So if you've reported a value in the past, that value should still have a place available in the EIS system. And if it does not, then we should be able to work with the facility specifically to make sure that it's reportable within EIS.
Okay, I guess we're going to have to reach out together and figure out how to make that work.
Yes.
And what's the time frame? Is this? Sorry, I didn't review that. I'm on vacation.
Lori, your voice is coming in very low.
Oh, I'm sorry. Usually that's not the problem. Usually I'm way too loud. I'm on vacation and I didn't review the rules. So what's the process? What's the timing as to when the electronic submissions need to be submitted?
Sure.
it-
Yeah, so for data year 2021, so our current data year and reporting year 2022, so what's going to be reported this upcoming year, we'll still accept those forms that facilities are familiar with. The only difference is we won't be receiving hard copies. We'll ask that those get uploaded into the EIS portal. And then for data year 2022, we will then require that data to be entered electronically into EIS.
I'm sorry, paper copies are going to be okay, or PDFs uploaded? I mean, I've not successfully been able to upload any of our data. And so I continue to submit paper copies. So maybe we just need to reach out offline and figure out how to get the data specifically for our test cells. I mean, we're an odd duck and nobody else has test cells and calculates the emissions the way that we do. So would that be the best solution, is to reach out to you and meet up with you and your team and figure out how it is we're going to submit this information?
Yeah, that would definitely be recommended. And then for any other facilities that do have issues with uploading, we will be accepting PDF copies for upload in EIS, and there will be a place to upload those which have not been included in EIS before, so it will look a little different. And so hopefully any issues that have occurred in the past should be mitigated by the new upload into EIS for those PDF forms. So, but yes, I would definitely encourage to reach out and we can work with the facility to get the upload in for 2021.
Okay, great. That sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Okay, so are there any more questions? Please raise your hand with the raise hand icon at the bottom of your screen, or you can use the chat box also at the bottom of your screen. Okay, there's a message. When will the EIM system be set up, and when will your agency be holding a training meeting?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So the system is our emissions inventory system. So it's EIS, and it is currently active. We currently use that system to calculate emission inventories. Currently, we do field data from facilities in multiple different forms, including paper and online versions. So the difference with this amended rule is that that online version will be the requirement. We do expect to have holding a couple of sessions in early 2022 with our software developer as well to help answer any questions about uploading that material to EIS.
Okay, thank you, Patty, for your question. Are there any?
And Jania, this is Mosa, and we probably will do the same for the portal as well. So we will have some sessions so people can understand how to upload into the portal.
Yes, those are the sessions I was referring to. So the EIS portal will have some changes that will allow for these uploads, and we will have sessions in early 2022 to go over those and the portal.
Thank you.
Great. So any other questions or hands raised if you'd like to ask a question? So remember, if you still have 2 weeks to submit any written comments, and those comments can be sent to Jania Lofgreen. Her information was on the workshop notice that went out. So I'm trying to check for any raised hands. I don't see any, or any other questions. Okay, maybe another minute or so and we could end the workshop. Okay. All right, well, thank you so much, everyone, for attending today. Again, the comment period will be open for another 2 weeks. please feel free to reach out to Janya with any questions or myself. And we will put all your questions and our answers in a workshop report and get that sent out to everyone who attended within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And please reach out to Janet if you want to make sure she has your email address so you can receive, the workshop report. And if there are no further questions or people wanting to speak, we will go ahead and end the workshop. And again, thank you everyone for participating today, and you have a great week.